Greetings, my dear aspirational friends and good people who still have the bad habit of using their brains. Welcome to this corner of freedom, where the truth is not sugar-coated, even if they insist on doing so at the National Palace. I'm glad to greet you, even if it's through this screen that separates us from the harsh and grimy reality. Today we'll take a look at the antics of our Presidenta de la Nación and also at the increasingly strong attacks from Mr. Donald Trump. This keeps getting better or worse, depending on how you want to look at it. Our brand new manager of the National Palace already has her legislative tantrum ready, her Plan B, and on the other hand, Mr. Naranja already has a ship docked on the coast of Veracruz. Any message? Let's get to it. It turns out that today, Monday, March 16, while you're enjoying the long weekend or trying to make your money last, for the basic basket, Chachis presents her savings of 4 billion pesos. Sounds like a lot, right? It's almost what they spend in an afternoon on maintenance, which doesn't work, on the Maya train or on the leaks at Dos Bocas, or what the stuffed pepper nose Andy Lopez Beltran puts in his pocket. But what does this political gem consist of? Guinda? In short, they say it's for austerity, but we all know it's to concentrate power. They say they're going to cut expenses. Of course, because what Mexico needs isn't well-made laws or checks and balances, but officials who earn less but obey more. Plan B's objective, according to Morena, is to reduce the costs of the political system and strengthen citizen participation. And it seems that they finally paid off the prostitutes from the Green Party and the Partido dos Trabajadores, because it turns out that senators from Morena and their allies announced in a statement this Saturday, March 14, that they will support Plan B of the electoral reform in the upper house. According to Morena's statement, Plan B of the electoral reform aims to strengthen citizen participation through among them are the recall of mandate and the expansion of the popular consultation to address electoral issues, with the goal of bringing public decisions closer to the citizens. I said it in a column last week. The rejection in San Lazaro was just for show and served to negotiate, because one way or another they always get us in the end. They are trying to shield themselves to stay in power without obstacles. But just like in this vineyard of the Lord, there's a bit of everything for everyone. Meanwhile, on the home front, we're playing around with little pincers up north. Uncle Trump has already realized that in Mexico the door is open and the lock is broken. Donald Trump's rhetoric about intervening in Mexican territory to help with the little drug problem has put the welfare maid in a position of calculated containment. What does that mean in Spanish? It means I'm going to speak very loudly about sovereignty, but under the table I'm going to pray they don't shut me down. The business, what's that? It is reported that a United States warship has already poked its nose into the port of Veracruz. No more and no less than for the third time, the United States ship Wichita, an anti-drug ship. But don't worry. The official version will surely be that they came to try the parish coffee or that they were lost looking for a Costco. The reality is that non-negotiable sovereignty is being negotiated every time Trump opens his mouth on Truth Social, even without opening it. Just look at the message he posted this Friday where he didn't say anything, he just reposted Claudia's video, where she reiterates that she's not willing to accept support from the United States. While Scheinbaum says there won't be open confrontation, Washington sends us a floating reminder of who's in charge in the neighborhood. It's a diplomatic dance, where Mexico provides the music and the United States brings the boots and the ships. Note to the president. Sovereignty isn't defended with press releases written in student assembly language. It's defended with a country that works, not with one that begs for cooperation while turning its back on its partners. Look, let's be clear. In the National Palace, they keep circling around the ideological tlayuda of the transformation. The real world, the one that actually moves and doesn't just stay stuck in the 70s, is being reconfigured at a speed that leaves them like turtles with rheumatism. We live on a geopolitical chessboard that seems straight out of a Michael Bay movie, but with a script by Kafka. We have a war in Ukraine, a bloodbath in the Middle East, where even those who weren't invited have gotten involved. And Mexico. Oh, Mexico is in its own bubble, but watch out, that bubble has an expiration date. While here criminals are protected, up there in the Shield of the Americas, 16 countries led by Uncle Sam are already tired of being spat on at the border. Countries all over Latin America are saying, I don't want to be like Mexico. What a pride, huh? We're the world example of what not to do. Make no mistake, the system we have today in Mexico doesn't care about your well-being. What it wants is a docile, malleable, and above all, easily manipulated society. The slogan, "The poor come first," isn't a development plan, it's a marketing strategy to win over people in exchange for crumbs. While they restrict your freedoms and numb your conscience, just look at Cuba. Do you remember Fidel, one of our own, who was supposed to bring justice? 60 years later, the island has collapsed. Have you accepted that the model is a corpse? Mexico won't reach that point, not due to government reluctance, but because the world won't allow it. History is cyclical. We already saw it in Chile with the shift to the right, we saw it in Argentina, and we're seeing it in Ecuador. The political pendulum, which today is stuck on the cartoonish far left, is swinging with overwhelming momentum to the other side. Is that old man with wet pants who wrapped society in lies during the presidential debates now watching his house of cards start to wobble? We are witnessing the beginning of human unification, a confederation of nations moving under the logic of real capitalism and individual freedom. The United States is looking for allies who understand that oil, the economy, and border security are not issues to be handled with fake sovereignty. Morena's days are numbered because the logic of the world is overwhelming. The Mexican nightmare, the one where mediocrity is rewarded and crime is tolerated, is reaching its climax. And like any good tragedy, the ending will be spectacular. But why open so many fronts at once? Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, and Mexico. It's not that Donald Trump has suddenly become a geography fanatic. Is it that the November 2026 election calendar is breathing down his neck like a coppled debt collector? The man is terrified at the idea of a democratic impeachment and has decided that the best defense is an attack, or four. As with reality show politics, the calculations were shakier than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Did they even consider it? The war with Iran would last 2 weeks. It's been 3 months, and the bill is already at $11.3 billion a week. Meanwhile, a barrel of oil went from being a cheap side item to a luxury product, climbing up to $100 and threatening to reach levels that will make us long for the bicycle. In Cuba's case, the regime is so weakened that they're negotiating with Raul Castro's grandson, Raul Rodriguez Castro, also known as El Cangrejo, to see who hands over the keys first. All signs suggest the regime founded by Fidel and Che Guevara is about to fall. However, we will have to pay attention to the transition, which, without a doubt, will not be simple and will not be a radical change overnight. Although, if you ask me, I think that any decision that is made will be much better than the hell that Cubans have lived through for 60 years. On the other hand, Mexico is at the epicenter of this political knot that Trump wants to tie up. The United States has already put the gun on the table for the president-lady. You're either with us or against us. What subtle diplomacy, but desperate times call for desperate measures. You won't get out of this one so easily, Mrs. Claudia. In other words, it's either climate or it's a mess. That's how things are. We have a president who prefers Plan B because Plan A, democracy, was too much for her. And a relationship with the North that looks like a toxic marriage on the verge of divorce. We are at the mercy of a geopolitical game where we are the pieces and the board is on fire, so now you know. Keep your eyes open because in this 2026, the only certainty is that coherence shines by its absence. If it hurt you, it means you still have some sensitivity in your neurons. If it made you laugh, welcome to the club of those who prefer to swallow the bitter pill with sarcasm. I've already done my part to open your eyes. Now it's up to you to decide if you want to cover them again. With tomorrow's morning show, see you in the next episode of this televised apocalypse.
Remember that you can make your donations via PayPal. You can find the information in the comments section. Thanks to you, this channel is still active. It's very important to subscribe, like, and press the bell to receive notifications every time there's new content. Thank you.